Doing a mic test. Okay. Hello, my name is Aaron Cloutier, and welcome to the first episode of the Songranting podcast. This is just going to be a podcast where I take listener questions from social media, from my email list, from wherever, and try my best to answer everything. And it's probably going to go off on some tangents, as the title implies, Songranting. I tend to go down a rabbit hole and riff on it for a little while. So if you are a fan of more long form content, then this might be for you. And today I have a really good question from a friend of mine, and she asked, what is your take on lyrics? Do they need to rhyme? Does it matter? That sort of stuff. So I want to get into that today. And speaking of lyrics, if you want to learn how to write better lyrics, I've actually included a free PDF. So it's a quick little multi-step guide that just walks you through, how to go from no idea to finished idea. Really, really simple, really actionable. You can do it in about 10 minutes. So if you're interested, grab it from the link in the description below. So anyway, let's get on to the topic of lyrics. This question comes from a fellow musician by the name of Iled, and she asks, what's your take on lyrics? Should they rhyme? Does it matter? So my initial answer to that is yes and no. It really, really all depends, right? Like, if I was talking to her right now, Iled, if you're watching, if you're writing your own stuff, right? I don't really think it matters too much. For me, when I'm writing my own stuff, it's more about, what am I trying to say, and do I mean what I say? That's the most important thing to me, And honestly, when it comes to writing lyrics for my own music, I tend to, put them to the side until after all the music has been written. Because for me, my method of doing things for this particular project is basically just listening back to the music and just trying to react to it. I'm trying to listen to what the music is trying to tell me, if that makes sense. Because, if you're doing music from the heart, there's going to be certain emotions that are in there, right? And I find that it's hugely beneficial to just, again, actively listen without any agenda of trying to squeeze anything out, and just see what kind of feelings, show up as a result. So that's what I do. That said, I do a lot of session work for lots of people, lots of companies, lots of different clients, lots of different genres. So lately I've been doing a lot of pop-based music. So pop rock, acoustic pop. I work for a company called Songwriting that specializes in all this sort of stuff. And it requires us to write, record, and mix a song in 3 days. So it gets really intense. And trying to find little quick avenues to help you get to the hooks faster, coming up with more catchy material faster, has been something that I've been putting a lot of energy to as of late. So when it comes to the pop genre, yes, I would definitely say that the lyrics have to rhyme, and I try my best to do that. I mean, a rule of thumb, right, especially in this particular genre, is the chorus has to rhyme, for sure, because the chorus is the focal point of the whole song, in most genres, if not all of them, but especially in pop music, right? So you want to be able to make not only the melody be catchy, and generally speaking, making the lyrical structure not too pedantic, not too, elaborate. You want to try to keep it like a simple statement, like this is what the song is about. And having rhyme in there is just going to make it that much more memorable. So I would definitely say rhyme is key in pop music, in country, and a lot of, those singer-songwriter based genres. But I don't rhyme in my own music a lot of the time. If rhymes show up naturally, then that's fine. But if I try to rhyme every single line in the stuff that I do, by the way, the stuff that I do is metal. So it's kind of like metal tends to be more of just a riff and drum based style of music. And the lyrics are often an afterthought. Not with everybody, but a good deal of bands. There's a lot of, Dungeons and Dragons lyrical content, or there's just, everything from that to the typical, just evil subject matter, right? Black Sabbath, Slayer, all that sort of stuff. And then there can be more introspective and personal lyrics. And that's where I tend to gravitate towards, right? And again, they could just be honest thoughts and feelings, and they really don't have to rhyme. Again, like I said in the beginning, it all goes back to what do I feel? What am I trying to say? And then, do I mean it? And that's how I approach the performance, and that's how I approach the writing. Oftentimes, if I am trying to rhyme a word, right, I'll have a line, I'll have a melody scripted out too, but I don't know what the second line is. But I want to, rhyme the last word with something else. So step one is just, grab a rhyming dictionary of some sort. I tend to go for the Rhymer's Block app. That's pretty handy. And then I will just write it in the second, line. I'll write it at the end of the second line rather. And then that will help me to kind of reverse engineer the lyrics that precede it, right? So I have line one that's already finished. I have the rhyming word at the end of the second line. And then from there, I just build back, right? I like to do that a lot. Also, having a pre-existing melody in place really helps with all this as well. Can help you just, find words that are going to fit the melody if you don't want to change the melody, that sort of thing. So another thing you could experiment with is using contrast in a song lyrically. So what I mean by that is, let's say you have a chorus and you want to make sure it's really, really, really catchy, right? Because that's the job of the chorus, is it's meant to be this memorable, big payoff, typically speaking, right? So you could save all of your rhyming ideas for that, while the verses can be a little bit more vague, not necessarily rhyme so much. And that can play into the whole structure of showing with the verses and then telling with the chorus, if that makes sense. So what I mean is, when you are using a lot of descriptive imagery in the verses to describe this grand statement that you have in the chorus, right? The chorus can be this big direct thing. Like, for example, if the song is, "It's cold out," right? That's the chorus. That's the main hook of the song, right? It's cold out. In the verse, you could use something, deriving from one of your five senses, where it's like, "My hands were red and raw." That immediately makes you think of winter, right? Being outside, freezing, shivering, but it doesn't say, "I'm cold," right? It's more interesting than that. It's using imagery to get your point across without it being so deliberate. So show with the verse, tell with the chorus. And by the way, I stole that from an author named Pat Patterson. I believe that's his last name. And he wrote a book called Writing Better Lyrics, and I highly recommend that you check that out. So that's it. That's what I've got for lyrics for today. If I ever get stuck when it comes to writing lyrics too, I usually follow, a series of steps just to kind of get the momentum going. A lot of people think you need to wait for inspiration to happen and then you'll be motivated to take action. But the syntax isn't really correct with that. You have to mix that up. You actually have to start by taking action. Then the motivation will come and will lead to inspiration. And I've actually put together a very simple 4-step process to help you get going with writing better lyrics. And I'm telling you, it'll only take you about 10 minutes if you just allow the process to happen without trying to be so focused on a specific outcome. So if you're interested in that, you can grab the free PDF with all these 4 steps in the link in the description below. So thanks for watching. If you like this, leave me a review in iTunes. If you have any questions that you'd like me to address on the next couple of episodes, just drop a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.